Happy Tuesday, guys. Somebody wanted me to do a presentation talking about a message to the young guys part 2, and that's what this is going to be. In this presentation, I just want to tell the young dudes, if you are outcast right now in middle school, high school, I just want to tell you young guys, and I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just here to tell you young guys, in this message to the young guys presentation, I just want to tell you guys, the light at the end of the tunnel doesn't get better, guys. If you an outcast, you in middle school, you in high school right now, things are not going to get better for you. And like I stated, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just being honest with you. If you in middle school, high school right now, you're not getting play from females like that. Chicks are not being receptive to you. Things are not going to get better for you the older you get. I'm just being honest with you. Things are not going to get better for you. Look at me. I'm living proof that it don't get better. I'm living proof that it gets worse the older you get. I'm about to be 36 this year. I have no wife. I have no kids. Never had no pussy. I've totally lost in life, but it's a lot of guys who've totally lost in life. There's a lot of people, it's a lot of guys out here who totally lost in life. But I just want to tell you, young guys, don't let nobody tell you that things are gonna get better for you the older you get. If things are not good for you now, and you're an adolescent, you in middle school, you in high school, trust me, the older you get, things are not gonna get any better. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys and just being transparent with you guys. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but I just want you guys to know it's not gonna get no better. I'm living proof that things don't get better, guys. I knew that things was never gonna get better. Like I say, guys, I knew from the time I was very young that things would never get better, and I was right, because things never did get better for me. That sun is beaming real hard out here today. But yeah, things never did get better for me. And unfortunately, things are not going to get better for a lot of people. The truth of the matter is, guys, if you a dude, you in middle school, you in high school, you being discriminated against, you getting treated bad right now, trust me, it doesn't get any better the older you get. Take it from somebody like myself who's about to be 36 this year. I'm living proof that it don't get better. I'll be 40 soon. Once you a guy that's in your 30s, you up there. Before you know it, you'll be 40. I'm living proof that it doesn't get any better. All the guys that was attacking me over the years and they had all this stuff to say, I wonder what they would have to tell me now at almost 36. My birthday the end of this month. I'll be 36. I know that it's a lot of other guys out there who are effed up just like me. They just don't get on the camera and talk about it. I know there are a lot of men out there who don't get pussy like that, never had no pussy. They just not showing their face on camera. But see, one thing about me, and that's why I always mention Barack McCray, I don't have no pride as a man. I don't care. I don't have no honor and dignity as a man. I just don't care. I know it's a lot of men out there who are not sought after like that by women. but they're not getting on camera showing their face. I ain't got nothing to lose. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I've already lost in life, you know? So, you know, it is what it is, you know? I just had to, I'm just glad that in being in the position that I'm in, I'm glad that I've become a voice for those who are losers. I've become a voice for losers. I've become a voice for men who are not wanted. At least I can say that, and I feel good about that, you know, that I've become a voice for men who are outcasts, you know, men who are not wanted. Because, you know, I ask myself a question all the time, like, what woman would want a man who's never been wanted? What woman would want to be with a guy who's never been wanted? I don't think no woman would desire a dude who's never been wanted, you know? But I'm here to tell you, young brothers, you young guys coming up, like, when you see men who 40-something years old, 50-some years old, I saw a man online, you know, saying that he was 50 years old, never had sex, never been married, no children. So what you young guys need to understand that's coming up is that the light at the end of the tunnel is not, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Don't let no one tell you there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Because when you see men who are 20-something, 30-something, 40-something years old, you know, never had no vagina, that ought to tell you that's your destiny. That's your destiny, and that's where you're headed. The older that you get, you just got to know that. You know, I know a lot of people probably attacking you young guys, and a lot of people probably bashing you young guys. But I'm just here to tell you, as a 35, almost 36-year-old man, that things don't get better. If you don't have females liking you now as a teenager, it's gonna get worse. The older you get, a lot worse. It's gonna get a lot worse. But one thing that I know, and I know a lot of people know this as well, everybody wasn't meant to be a winner in life. That's something that most people would try to deny. Most people would try to gaslight you and say, oh, that's not true. But people know, not just me, people know. Everybody wasn't meant to be a winner in life. Some people were meant to be losers, you know? And just know that, you know, if you're a young guy in middle school and high school, females not giving you the time of day, you're getting rejected a lot. What you need to do right now at a young age, you need to fully accept being a loser and know that you're going to die a loser. You need to fully accept that. I accepted it when I was young. And that is my advice to you young teenage guys coming up, middle school, high school. Fully accept being a loser. Accept it, because the older you get, it gets harder. It doesn't get easier. And it gets worse the older you get. Take it from a guy like myself. It gets worse the older you get. It doesn't get any better. It gets worse. So, salute to being a loser. Salute to being a failure. And just totally accept that things are not going to work out for you. You know, you're not going to have a happy life. You're not going to have a wife, kids, none of that good stuff. All the good things you see other guys with, you'll never have it. And this is my message to you young guys that's in middle school, high school. Just know that you're never going to have nobody. You know, you're not going to have no happy life. You know, and I feel like if you guys accept that at a young age, you'll save yourself a lot of grief and heartache the older that you get. Because I'm telling you, if you're a young guy and you're not sought after now as a teenager, it's only going to get worse from here on out. Things are not going to get better for you, you know? And that's the honest truth. So salute to being defeated. This is Message to the Young Guys Part 2. You guys have a happy Tuesday.